Today we're going to be seeing what 2026 has in store for us. Let's get into it. So I want to first start that nobody can predict the future. Not the government, not an economist, not a real estate company, not a real estate agent, and not the news. What we're going to be reviewing today is based on what I'm hearing, based on what I'm seeing, and to actually see the real estate market, not based on the event that is happening today, but in a bigger picture. So getting out of it and seeing it the way it's supposed to be. Now, I'm seeing a lot of videos out there since the market started coming down about how bad the real estate market is. So much negativity that it's paralyzing people. What we're going to be discussing today is three markets. We're going to be discussing the resale market, and the resale market, the information we're going to be viewing is the amount of sales we're going to be doing in 2026 and pricing as well. Number two is the pre-construction market. And number three is the rental market. Let's first understand what has been written in the news and how the news works. Basically, the news is here to grab your attention. They're here to sell you headlines. What they're doing is they're grabbing the highest price that we've had for the past 50 years, which was February 2022. The average pricing in February of 2022 was 1.3 million. So they take that price that happened at that time, at that event in February, and then compare it to when prices started going down after that. So in this case, they're grabbing December of 2025, which average pricing was around 1 million. So they're comparing February to December. That's not how you evaluate anything in life. You can't just take one historical event and compare it to another historical event that has nothing to do with it. We can see that, yes, at that time, prices were high, and the prices today, but what we need to do is we need to actually look at it in a bigger picture. What you need to look at it is year over year, every 5 years, every 10 years, and compare it average 25 years and 50 years. And that's what we're going to be looking at today. So how do you get the real data? Well, you can visit the Toronto Real Estate Board where you actually get the raw data and be able to compare it from year over year. Once you're on trev.ca, you will go down to resources, click on market data, you scroll down, clicking on a market watch. Once you click on Market Watch, which is the monthly market reports from the Toronto Real Estate Board, so we can open this full report because this full report will actually give you not just December 2025, but it will give you all the information we need in order to analyze what happened in the year of 2025. So it'll give you from January to December. So let's look at the market report for 2025. It'll tell you exactly how many sales we did for 2025. It'll tell you the average pricing for detached, semi-detached, townhouse, and condo. So you can view all that. And what you can do is you can go on the last page of the report and see how prices have been averaging for the past 10 years. Actually, even from 2013 they have right now. You can see the prices were $525. This is year, so year over year, so for the whole year. And then you can compare it. Okay, in 2021, prices were $1,098,000. In 2025, the average pricing was $1,067,000. So if you were to see this in the bigger picture as opposed to 1 month to another month, which that's not how you actually compare data, you can see that in 2022, which was the highest price for the past 50 years, was 1.193. And then if you compare it to year to date, which is for 2025, is 1.67. So that means that 2022, 2023, 4 and 5, so for the past 4 years, prices have actually just come down by 10%. So that's roughly about 3% year over year. What you can also as well see here on the Toronto Real Estate Board is see the more historical stats by going back to resources, market data, and looking at the historical archive. And when you look at the historical archive, it'll show you all the prices from 1980. So you can see how sales have increased since 1980 and the prices too as well. If you keep scrolling down, you can see that the annual average TREB MLS system sale price, how it has increased from, let's say, 2000 to 2025. Let's say 2010 to 2025. Even if we were to look at the pricing for 2025, it's still higher than 2020. And you can see here in the bars, the prices have been going up 2021, 2022, so it needed to correct itself. Yes, 2025, sales were down by 11% and prices were down by 4.6%. And what I want you to get from this video, if there's anything you take from this video, is this message, is that this is normal. The market, anything in life is supposed to go up and down, up and down. I mean, if you think it's just supposed to go up, 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 you're living in a delusional world. I remember when I started reading about investing because I loved real estate. I wanted to get into real estate, but before I got into real estate, I wanted to know everything when it came to investing. And my first book that I read, which was recommended by Warren Buffett, if you don't know who Warren Buffett is, he's the biggest investor in the world. The book that I read was The Intelligent Investor. And if you read the book, it talks about how the market changes, how the market crashes, how the market goes down, and it teaches you to actually look at the market that this can happen so you can be ready. When you are looking at the real estate market as a buyer, as an investor, look at it as the way it is, accept it the way it is, that it's going to go up and down. And if you're thinking of buying and investing, guess when it's the best time to buy? When the market is down, when prices are low and sales are low. That's why we say, and what we've been saying these past 3 years doing videos, is that the best time to buy is today. For the past 10 years on average, our real estate prices have been increasing by 6.65%. And for the past 50 years, since 1975, 6.4%. Add inflation, so that means that our real estate market for the past 50 years has been increasing on average 4%. And that's how we should look at the market long term. So what we're seeing in the resale market for 2026 is that sales will increase. Yes, on average, we sell roughly about 90,000 homes yearly on the Toronto Real Estate Board. Last year, we ended at around 63,000. So because we haven't been selling, there's been a lot of buyers waiting for the past 3 years. That pent-up demand has been adding. So sales will increase this year, and I'm predicting that it's going to be increasing up to 80,000 sales for Toronto TREB. And pricing is going to be the same. If you are in the market as a first-time home buyer or thinking of buying, this is the opportunity. You want to buy when nobody's buying. You want to buy when prices are low. You want to buy when there's no demand. And if you're an investor and you're thinking of investing when prices are low, you don't need to be a genius to figure it out that right now is the right time to invest or buy. Now let's look at the pre-construction market. Well, the pre-construction market is dead. And is it going to come back? Not anytime soon. Now, when it comes to investors have not left the building. What happened is investors are shifting to invest somewhere else. Investors will always invest. And where are investors investing? Well, very clear. What we were building in the past, which was all condos because of the law that was introduced back in 2006, the Places to Grow Act, which was to not to build out, but to build up. That's what we've been doing for the past 25 years, has now shifted to condos, to rentals, to condos, to missing middle. So what we have been seeing for the past 2 years is that investors have been investing in, especially big institutional investors and large corporations, they're investing in rentals. So REITs, so they're buying shares in, and this is long-term, by the way, a lot of the investors are looking long-term now. What they're doing is that they're pooling money together to buy rental apartments so they can hold, lease, and manage. That's what the big institutional investors are doing. That's what REITs it's all about. That's what the rental market is about. And when it comes to the missing middle, that's what we're seeing a lot of small and medium investors get into it. So a lot of the pre-construction investors that were investing in pre-construction are now shifting to the missing middle. So what is the missing middle? Missing middle means the product that we haven't been building since 1960. So since 1960, what we were building and focusing on is mainly high-rise and low-rise. Now, what we're doing with the new law is that we're going to be building 3-story, 4-story buildings that has up to 60 units. We're going to be building duplex, triplex, 4plex, 5plex. We're going to be building ADUs, accessory dwelling units. So those are garden suites and lane suites. Since the new law was introduced in 2023, Ontario has been receiving over 1,000 applications to start building multiplexes, to start building these accessory dwelling units. And that's what the missing middle is about. And it's about to take off. Starting 2026 and onwards, you're just gonna see more and more of those. So that's where investors are shifting to. They're shifting from pre-construction condos to rentals owned by institutional investors or REITs and investing in the missing middle. So these are all multiplexes, which we're having a webinar for CMHC MLI Multiplex Investor in March. So make sure you register on our website to be in the know for that presentation. So for pre-construction this year and onwards, what we're going to be seeing is that it's going to be going down. Actually, we don't even have any launches announced from any developer. We're seeing all developers converting their condos into rentals. So we're not going to see any pre-construction high-rise anytime soon. So for rentals, what we're going to be seeing in 2026 and onwards is that it's going to be going up. And of course, you hear from the government, it's all about affordability, affordability, affordability. And we're also building, there are a lot of rentals under construction. So rentals will be going up. Also because we are delivering product that we sold 5 years ago from the pre-construction market, not as many or as much as 2025, but we will still be delivering product that we sold 4 or 5 years ago, and that will add to the rental market. That is our prediction for 2026. And to recap, we do see the resale market sales going up for 2026 and prices will stay the same, which means if you are in the market as a buyer or an investor, right now is your chance. Don't wait any long. Don't wait until everybody starts buying. The pre-construction market, anybody can predict this. As I mentioned, it's not gonna come back anytime soon. Everything is shifting in the pre-construction market from condos to rentals, from condos to multiplex. So these are 4plex, 5plex, 6plex, or 4plex plus a laneway suite, or 4plex plus a garden suite. And then the rental market will continue to increase because of affordability, because the shift from condos to rentals, and because we're still going to be delivering what we sold 5 years ago, and that is the rental market, because the condo market was the rental market. Rental pricing will increase a bit for 2026. That's what I'm seeing. In a nutshell, what you saw last year, what you saw 3 years ago was the lowest. And now the market's going to be balancing it out. And a good balance is having roughly about 90,000 sales and for the market to be increasing year over year. Thank you for watching another GT Homes exclusive, and I hope 2026 brings you everything you're looking for.